I have this question for the William SCHRIKKER group, for the Bureau ZORG, for the RAAD, for the KINDERBESCHERMING, for the court, and for the entire Holland, and for the entire humanity, for everybody who is watching, for everybody who is listening. I have this question look, how would you feel if your kidney was violently or forcefully taken away from you and given to another person? How would you feel if your liver or your foot or your hand or your eyes or your heart or was forcefully removed from you and given to somebody else? How would you feel? How would you feel if your salary, let's just say your salary, was paid to somebody else, or even your car or your property or your house was forcefully taken away from you and given to somebody else? How would you feel if what you hold most dear was taken away from you and given to somebody else who is more powerful than you, somebody who is richer than you are? How would you feel about that? How would you feel if your own child or your wife or your husband, or even your lifelong pet, your dog or something, was robbed from you, taken from you by authorities, and because you are a white person, or because you are blonde or blue-eyed, or because you are black? How would you feel if you were constantly raped, violated, abused, disregarded, prejudiced, segregated, humiliated because of your race, because of something you have no control over, because you are ade, or because of one thing that you absolutely cannot control? Yes, these are what you have been doing to me and my children and my family here in Holland since 2010. My house taken away from me. My children taken away from me. My children abused, sexually abused. My whole family torn apart. My children, Chimdima, Ezebuiro is 7 years old now. Chukuzendu is 8 years old now. They were most cruelly abused. They are being discriminated against, denied of common rights to childhood. They are being sexually abused. They are being raped in this Holland, in the land of their own birth, the country of their birth. I just can't keep being quiet about this. These experiences, they are tearing me apart. These experiences have torn my entire family. These experiences are agonizing. They are cruel, wicked, and inhuman. I appeal to the King of Holland, King Willem Alexander. I appeal to Premier Rutte. I appeal to the government and the people of Holland. I appeal to all well-meaning persons, citizens, residents of this country. I appeal to all human rights organizations, civil liberties organizations, to the church in Holland. If there is any spirit still remaining in you, if there is any fear of God still remaining in you, I appeal to the churches all over the world. I appeal to all religious groups. I appeal to all Igbo people in this Holland, in Europe, in the diaspora. I appeal to all Biafrans. I appeal to Nigeria, to Africa, to all black people all over the world. I appeal to the United Nations, and I appeal to all humanity. Please help me. Help me. Please help me. Make the government of Holland, the King of Holland, the Premier of Holland, to release my children, Chimdima, Amen, and Chukuzendo Makanwa, to me. Help me, please. I am begging. Tell them to give me back my children. Please give my children to me. We have suffered enough. Stop trafficking my children. Stop tearing our lives. We are humans too. Stop inflicting sexual molestation on my children. Stop the psychological and emotional torture. Stop the abuse on my children and on my family. Stop brainwashing my children. Stop the rape. Stop the racial discrimination against my children and against my family. Stop the lies against my children and against my children and my family. Stop the miseducation against my children. Stop the pain. Stop the cruelty. Stop the wickedness. God, for God's sake, stop it. Stop destroying our lives. Stop the inhumanity against us. Stop it. We have done nothing wrong to deserve this. We have done nothing to you. We are not bad people. We are not a bad family. We are good people. We are patriotic, kind, loving people. We are not criminals. Stop your cruelty and abuse. Stop doing evil to us. Stop. Just because you are more powerful, just because we are immigrants here, that's not enough for you to be so mean to us. You can't just be doing that because you can, because you have the powers to do that. Because you are white or what. You can't just do that. I have decided to seek help to save the lives of my children. I have decided to seek help to save my family and to save my life, because the government of Holland has clearly failed us. The government has failed to secure our lives. Our future is not secured. Our dignity is not secured. It has been raped. As human beings and citizens of Holland and citizens of the world, the government and the organizations in this country has failed us, has raped our humanity from us, has raped our dignity from us. Please stop it. Not only did they fail to secure us, the government has been constantly a threat to our lives, to our dignity, to our future. We have been treated with less respect, less regard than dogs, than cats in this country. The government of Holland has sent us to hell. We have been to hell and we have suffered terrible levels of indignity, pain, agony, loss, and inhumanity. God, the government is trying to make me feel as if I'm less human, as if I'm inferior, whereas I am not. I am not inferior and I'm not less human than anybody else from whatever race. I came to Holland, yes, as an economic migrant, and have served this country in various sensitive and key pilot industries. I've served as an engineer, I've served as a scientist, I've served as an inventor, I've served as an artist, as a spiritual healer, as a moral support, and as a parent. I have put immeasurable personal resources in the ICT infrastructure of Holland. I have put unquantifiable skills in keeping the Royal Dutch Airways KLM flying and being in the air. My creativity, my ingenuity, my inventiveness, my resourcefulness has covertly, silently revolutionized industries in Holland, in the EU, and in the world today. Myself and my family has immensely shaped and reshaped the European civilization. Therefore, I deserve much more respect. I deserve much more gratitude from Holland than to be treated with less dignity than an underdog. I'm not a criminal. No member of my family is a criminal. We are not holding any criminal records anywhere in the world. I am a patriot. I'm a good man. I'm a candidate for heaven. And I'm an inspiring father. For humanity's sake, how can the government of this land find the moral, the rationale, the justification to forcefully steal children from their parents, then criminalize the parents so as to have unrestrained abuse, rape, and deprivation upon the children? How can the government steal children from poor parents, give to rich individuals, then criminalize poor parents to make it seem as if it is our fault that our children are being stolen and being abused? How can the government find the morale to protect those who rape and abuse our children, abuse my children, then punish me and punish my children when we protest against the rape and abuse and the denial? What is going on in Holland? I don't understand it. This is not civilization. This is not what I used to hear about Europe. This is not what I used to hear about civilization. This is not what I read in the books. This is not what I heard. I'm going to tell you how it started. After a very difficult pregnancy, on the 19th of June 2010, my last child and daughter I'm going to play you a video so that you can watch. Hopefully it will work. I don't know if it's going to work. And then you can watch what is the foster parents as I continue with this. I don't know how this works. Well, I can't get it to work, so I'm just going to go ahead, and after I will play you a little bit of the video. I hope I have the space to do that. After a very long and difficult pregnancy, on the 19th of June 2010, my last child and daughter, Amen Chidima, was born here in Holland. The birth was very traumatic, very difficult. The mother was bleeding to death. The child was stillborn. There was no life in her when she was born. The hospital maternity did what they could to control the bleeding and to resuscitate my daughter. When they couldn't do anything, they deserted us. They left the room, leaving myself and my mother Gloria in the hospital, and Chimdima. Gloria was in a pool of gushing blood. My daughter Chimdima had turned from pale pink to blue, and she was getting green in color. Before my eyes, my fiance and my child was dying. But I will not let that happen. I still have God in me, and I called upon God, and I called upon God, and I prayed. I lifted my daughter, my lifeless daughter. I held her on her foot, lifted her up, and shook her. And before my eyes, heaven gave her life. She breathed, coughed, and let out a cry. Her voice rang like a brass bell through the maternity. Mother Gloria's bleeding stopped instantly. It just ceased. God had done it again for me. We stayed in the hospital for another 2 days with my son Chukwuzendo. Then Chukwuzendo was 1 year old. On the 21st of June, we left the hospital around midday. We arrived my house in Hausen, Holland. We were naturally exhausted, but we were happy and we were thankful. Less than 2 hours that we arrived the house. I was living then at Drug Dock number 50 in Hausen. Less than 2 hours after we arrived the house, the police of Hausen came to my house, and they arrested me for no reason. They did not give me any reason. Till this day, they have not given me a reason why they arrested me. They arrested me and put me away for 3 nights and 4 days. I was detained for 3 nights and 4 days without an explanation till this day. After I was released from detention, please, just listen to me, please, because I be patient with me, please, because this is something I have to let out. The world has to know what is going on. I need help. After I was released from the hospital, I was shocked to discover that my 2 children were gone. Chukwuzendu was gone. Chindima was gone. Chindima was just a few days old. Mother Gloria was utterly broken. And Gloria, she is a Suriname woman, Gloria Seydorf. The police had violently taken the children from her to an unknown destination. My life was shattered. It was as if earth had been rolled off from my feet. It appeared as if I was in a nightmare. I could not believe that what was happening was true. I had never experienced anything like this in my life. I've never even seen it in a movie. Oh God. I and Mother Gloria Seydorf, where we pursued the children night and day. We did not sleep. We were crying around, going around. The police was directing us from one place to another, It took almost 2 weeks before we were able to find out where that the William SCHRIKKER were with the children.